Camp Edge is a really fun grassroots race series in Alloway, New Jersey. This year there's 4 races once a month. There's one in June, July, August, and September. A lot of fast riders show up. It really helps with cross-country racing, and it's a lot of fun too, and I look forward to it every year. I had a really terrible start here. I got boxed in by a lot of younger riders that were racing in the youth group, and there was no way for me to even make time. I just got spit off the back. The first 2 minutes of this race was terrible. I had very bad positioning. I couldn't even be worse than what I was at the time. I was off the back, and I really had to focus on moving forward. I really had to move up as fast as I could. This is not the type of course where there's flow and you can make up time. It's like you have to just keep pushing, especially it being a short track race and it only being 25 minutes long. This course changes with every short track race. This particular one had punchy climbs, a few descents, not a lot, but really had to be on the gas the whole time. Job of moving up throughout the race. The first lap and a half, I met my limits after lap and a half. I did keep trying to push to catch the riders in front of me. I know that they were under 30 seconds ahead of me, but it's really, really hard on these short track races to make up that kind of time if you lose it early on. really made my first big mistake of this race. With a short track race like this, it's really taxing on your mind too, because you're having to make very quick decisions. And even though I know the course, you know, you're constantly like thinking, oh, okay, I need to go on the outside here, but it's so fast paced and so intense. You know, you often think about, oh, you know, you're in a different part of the course than you actually are. And I missed my turn and almost ran right into the barrier, which really cost me a few seconds. And then the rider behind me, who I thought I just passed, was able to get on me, but the rider I just passed was also actually passed by someone else, so it wasn't the rider. So then that led to me to make more mistakes down the road, which I'll explain. Rider that was behind me was not who I thought it was. So I passed a rider, and that rider looked like they were on their edge. So when I passed them, I thought that they caught me with my mistake, and I was like, okay, well, what, you know, they were on their edge. I'm going to just you know, push it over the cliff. I'm going to hammer it and hammer it and hammer it, and I'll drop them, and then I'll be smooth sailing just to catch a rider in front of me. Won't have that person behind me pushing me. Well, lo and behold, it was another rider that also had a poor start like myself that moved up forward and got on. So I was pushing, but basically I was carrying that person through the laps rather than pushing someone to the brink. So with this pressure and with the pace being so high, that's where I started making these mental errors. And when I was trying to put pressure on these riders, that's when I started making the mistakes. So when lap 3 came about and I wanted to put pressure on the riders and I really wanted to catch the riders, I was sprinting up hills. I was really hammering it, thinking dropping the rider behind me, and the rider behind me was not going anywhere. Course setup was so fast. It's not going to be like this in July, but this course was a lot of fun. As you can see, these corners kept getting looser, which made it hard to really push it and lean into these corners. next lap, I pushed it a little too hard and missed and didn't corner well and got caught up in the sharp corner, and thus the rider passing me. So here's where I made the biggest mistake of the race. So we went on to our 4th lap, and I even said to the other rider, "Oh man, they're going to make us do 2 more," jokingly, because I thought, for some reason, I started doing calculations, and I looked at the time, and I think it was like 23 or something along those lines. And I knew that, I could get by around 6 minutes, maybe a little more around the course. So I was like, okay, well, I'm going to have 2 laps. Well, because I was pushing hard, thinking I was going to drop the rider behind me, I was getting a cramp in my calf. So I kind of kept a little bit of a gap, let the rider pass, kept a little bit of a gap, thinking 2 laps to go. Well, mental error, calculation error, there's only 1 lap to go because it was a 25-minute race. At the time, for some reason, I got it in my head it was a 30-minute race. Well, I didn't push it on what would have been the final lap and allowed that rider to ride ahead of me. And then I was like, well, I'll let my cramps subside, and then I'll push it on the final lap. Well, I crossed the finish line and kept going, thinking there was another lap. And that was the end. It was a complete dumb mistake by me. And I really made a huge mental error. These races are a lot of fun, and I really hope that more people come out to them. They really help with the intensity of a cross-country race, and they definitely make me faster.